All right. Now we're going to talk about the big three, the three musketeers, the three main macronutrients that make up our meals: proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. The more often that we consume these big three with each meal, the better off we're going to be. If we aim to consume the big three in each meal, we are going to give ourselves the best chance to improve health, energy, and body composition. The big three are very, very important when it comes to metabolism. The beauty of focusing on the big three in each meal, the correct portion sizes, is you're going to get the benefit from each meal. So there are some rules and regs to this, especially when we talk about carbs, but we're going to talk about protein right now. But we will get to that soon, the carbohydrates. So protein is by far the most important macronutrient for muscle food. All right, 66% of your daily energy is metabolized through muscle mass. So 66% of your calories then metabolized through muscle mass. So protein for supporting muscle mass is super, super important. When we lift weights, we tear down muscle tissue. Protein will come in and repair and rebuild new tissue. That's the simplest way I can put it. Muscle protein synthesis is the process that your body activates when we break down muscle tissue, and protein comes back in when we eat it to support that muscle protein synthesis process. You can't repair and improve muscle mass without consuming the correct amount of protein every day consistently. If you are training hard but not eating enough protein, it becomes counterproductive. You will start to metabolize muscle mass as fuel for everyday living. This is known as catabolic state. So your muscles will start to eat themselves because there's not enough protein and calories in the form of protein coming in. So we don't want to go catabolic. Catabolic is not good. We want to be metabolically active. Daily intake is around 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. For example, if you're a female at about 162 kilos with a lean body mass of 50 kilos, this equates to 100 grams of protein per day. If you're male and you're 175, your lean body mass is about 70 kilos, which equates to about 140 grams of protein per day. Yes, most men need more protein than women. That is just simply the fact that men are made up of more lean muscle genetically. It does not make us stronger. It does not make us metabolically more active. In fact, it is quite the opposite, and I'll explain that little fact in a second. So the other thing to note is that most men will burn more calories per day than most women will. So don't get caught up on the calorie burns when you and your husband are comparing Apple Fit data at the end of the day. Doesn't matter. All right, it's all relative depending on your body state and your genetics and your journey and what sex you are. It doesn't mean that men work harder. In fact, it's usually the opposite. We're usually lazier in the gym than you guys are. Women are usually train harder than us, and you will still get the same result. The numbers just might not reflect that. But muscle mass drives your metabolism. It also drives your immune system. And it also drives your endocrine and hormonal function. All right. So much of the cell replication process that is happening inside your body every day is happening inside lean muscle tissue. Another fact that I like, there was some research done on brain health recently, a couple of years ago, I think, around Alzheimer's and dementia. And it was shown that lifting heavy weights, so compound movements such as deadlifts, barbell squats, and bench presses, for argument's sake, at 70% of your rep max, so 70% of your body weight, actually releases mitochondria into the blood-brain barrier crossing, finds its way to the hippocampus, which is around here somewhere, I think, and that can slow down the onset symptoms of Alzheimer's and dementia. So lifting heavy weights and backing it up with good nutrition, i.e. the right amount of protein for you per day, is really important for your brain health, let alone your physical health, your immune system, and all the other cells, replication systems, muscle cell breakdown that is happening all day, every day. So a simple way to measure out protein without having to weigh it, because who could be bothered weighing it? It's a massive amount of work and we're already very busy. Essentially the size of a bit more than your palm. So about a palm size, all right, like that, even out to the middle of your finger here. So about this size here is a good way to get a sense of whether you're getting at least 25 grams of protein in. I've also used a way to track and measure it, but we'll go through that later. So you get a bit more data back using MyFitnessPal. But when we talk protein, here's a chart. You've got to be able to break proteins down into the specific sources of where they come from, because they're not all quite the same. So when we look at the protein chart here, we've got all the meat proteins based off how much protein they deliver, and the amino acids in the protein is what we're really trying to extract. All right, so the amino acids in the protein are the really important part per 100 grams. And then we go down here and we've got your protein powders. So this is a divisive topic. Yes, they are a first-class protein, but we don't want to eat too many of them, all right? Because it can start to cause issues with your gut when you have too many of them. So we'll be able to work with you on the right amount, but, you know, if you're using a 15 or 20 gram scoop of protein, I would suggest that 1 to 2 times per day is absolute maximum. And I would at least try and have 1 or 2 days a week, 1 or 2 days where you have a break from using protein powder and focus on getting your protein in from whole foods. This gives your gut a break, all right? Because they are powders, they are man-made, and some of them, if they're not good quality ones, have a lot of ingredients in them, and I can point you in the direction of quality ones in our coaching sessions. But yeah, the protein powder, we're just going to be a little bit mindful of it. But that's something we'll deal with on a coaching basis. And like I said before, we want to focus on meats that come from quality sources, so butchers, and try and avoid supermarket meats where possible. Then we've got seafood. We've got the vegetarian sources, all right? Just understand if you're eating eggs, they're about 12 grams of protein per egg. Egg whites deliver more protein with less fat. So egg whites are a better option. And then we have whey protein isolates. You can get vegetarian versions of these, so plant protein versions. And then we've got all your beans, your tofus. Like I said before, you can add these things to meals that have meat in them in order to boost the amount of protein you're getting and create variety, all right? So this helps with microbiome diversity. So that is a breakdown on proteins. Here's your protein chart. This is the kind of thing you'll get a copy of. You should be able to, you could take a picture, a screenshot, you could walk around the supermarket with it, or you could have it on your phone when it's handy when you're not sure how to construct a meal with protein in it.